and welcome to the 28th episode of Faith Among Wolves. Today we'll be having a third part of our Q&A series about specific Christian issues and ethics. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome to Faith Among Wolves. My name is Jacob, and today we have with us Nathan Rivas.
Yo, yo, yo.
And we have back with us as our guest, Makenna Vaughn, thank you.
It's your name, you corrected.
I was waiting to see if he was going to say it.
I can't remember for some reason. Alright. Yeah, and today we'll be talking about specific issues and ethics. Yeah, and this is our third part of the series. So let's dive right in. Alright, so what does the Bible say about identity? So, we're gonna start off with, it's actually a three-part question. It's identity, gender, and LGBTQ issues, but we're gonna take it one step at a time. So, what does the Bible say about identity? And sure, I'll start. You just looked up to me like with a blank expression. Alright, I got a couple verses for this. So, see what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know Him. So, this goes into identity, that our identity as a person should be in God, and not of this world, but of only in God. And there's also another verse, Genesis 1:27. So God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God, He created them. Male and female, He created them. So He particularly created us. And we need to have identity in that, in God, and not of this world. Not in the things that He created, but of the Creator Himself. Do you guys have any thoughts?
I was not listening the whole time, I gotta be honest.
Oh my god. Well, I would say I disagree with everything that you said.
Alright, so the next question is, what does the Bible say about gender? Would you like to start on, Nathan?
Well, don't we have a verse that says that?
Here, I believe it's these.
Genesis 1:27. So God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God, He created them. Male and female, He created them. It says He created them a lot. Clearly. This verse clearly tells us that God made mankind with two genders. And He did not list any other ones. So, yeah, there's only two genders.
Yeah, and there's also Psalm 139:13-14. For you created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are beautiful. I know that full well. So, this is a very important part of you. And God created you with and everything is mine. So, yeah. Do you have any thoughts?
I was just going to say that God doesn't make mistakes, so you are the way He created you for a reason, and He wanted you, well, He made you like that, so obviously He wants you like that.
Yeah. And the last part is LGBTQ issues. So this is a very real part in today's society. And Deuteronomy 22:5 talks about that. A woman must not wear men's clothing, nor a man wear women's clothing. For the Lord your God detests anyone who does this. So this is a big thing. And if you need more on that, there's Leviticus 18, the whole chapter talks about this. And there's also 1 Corinthians 6:19. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. So do you guys have any thoughts on this?
The last verse that he just said about protecting your body. If someone joins the LGBTQ community and they want to switch gender, which, is not right, but they probably sometimes do stuff with their body that does not go with this verse, and they
does not glorify God.
Yeah, and in a way dishonors God with what you've done with your body, and this doesn't mean He hates you if you've done something like this. It was wrong. You did a mistake if you did that. But you should ask for forgiveness and just live a new life. It is a big problem for some people because some people are genuinely attracted to their own sex. And that is That is, I don't know. Well, I've never, I'm not, so I can't say anything about that. But it is a problem, and like we said in the last episode about temptation, well, what I said, run to the opposite direction, get away from it, get as far as you can from it, so you don't fall into that trap.
Yeah, that's good.
And I was just gonna add to the first verse I think you read. It said God detests those people or something along that.
A
those
woman
lines.
must not wear men's clothing. Nor a man wear women's clothing, for the Lord your God detests anyone who does this.
Yes, God obviously doesn't hate anybody. He is love, so he loves everybody. I think what it's saying is that he hates the sin, not the sinner. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. And yeah, like Makenna said, God hates the sin and not the sinner. So he still loves you, but also with love comes judgment. So, and because he loves everyone, sometimes discipline is needed in order, because let's say if a child goes into a kitchen and there's a hot pot on the stove, okay, and it wants to touch that. Is the mother gonna let the child touch it, or is she gonna take it out of the kitchen and put it on the outside and put a guardrail up? So, and that is what a loving God does, is sometimes discipline is needed in order for the message to get through, and that is truly a loving God. So, and LGBTQ is a serious thing, and it is not good, and is it really that bad? Yes, it really is. And it is, and all sin is sin, and yeah, you should run the other direction like Nathan said. So, question 2, does God care about my identity as a person?
I very strongly believe he does. He made you. If you won't, I mean, I guess us humans, we do make stuff that we don't like our sibling. We always have that sibling that says he drew a bad drawing or something like that, and they hate it. But God made you, and I don't know why I said that. The point is, God made you, and he does not dislike what he made. Like Makenna said, he made you perfect with no mistakes, and I think that is a big part of it, because he made you perfect, I don't know.
All right, so going back to a verse that we mentioned previously, 1 John 3:1, see what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. So Jesus loves us, and why do you think he died on the cross for us? And does God care about my identity as a person? Yes, he does, because what person would go down and die for someone if he did not care about that person and his identity as a whole? That just is, first of all, very illogical, and that's just straight up foolish. And God is not foolish. He's loving. And he died on the cross so that we can spend eternity with him, that we can find our identity in him. So he wants us to find identity in him so we can be whole. Do you have any thoughts on that, Makenna?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you already read this verse, but Psalm 139:13, for you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I feel like that's an obvious sign that God cares about you if he was thinking about you before you were even born and he was creating you.
All right, so yes, God does care about your identity as a person. So, question 3, what is one thing that I can do to help a friend who is depressed? Now, we currently live in Alaska, which has the most highest rates for depression. So this is a very real thing in our state. So, got a couple verses for that. Actually, Nathan has them.
Yeah, I do. All right, Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. I'll just read both of them at the same time. Psalms 34:18 says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. I would just want to say something before we talk about these verses. It is also going with these verses. The point is, this verse says that he is close to the brokenhearted, and for people who are depressed, I don't know, but I believe they turn to other things that maybe they'll fill them. Might that be cutting, or might that be drugs, or might that be anything that can, harm them or anything that could distract them. And God says they are close. He is close to them, and He will help you go through that. And I think you should just, instead of going to all those things, you should go to Jesus, so you can find love in Him, and then you won't be depressed. I mean, if it's a problem, it is a serious problem in some people's lives. And like Jacob said, a lot in this state, there's a lot of that and a lot of suicide. So it doesn't go into that extreme. I really encourage you to get closer with God and experience His love that He has for you.
Yeah, but what is one thing as an example that you can do if you have a friend who is depressed?
Yes, sorry, we're talking about friends, not that person itself. Friend. Let me think about it. Makenna, take the mic.
Well, I've known a lot of people who have struggled with depression, and it's a big deal. It's not a light subject, but I definitely think that the best thing that you can do for them is just be there for them. And a lot of the time, sometimes they won't want to talk, and that's okay. But you have to let them know that you're there for them if they do want to talk, and that you won't judge them with anything that they're struggling with, because if you come off as judgmental, people aren't going to want to confide in you and make you a safe person for them. But you also have to know your own limits when you're helping people through depression. You have to know how much you can handle on your own, well, with God's help, obviously, and how much what the point is that you're going to need help from somebody else giving you advice and leading you through helping your friends through difficult times, like when they're struggling with depression.
Yeah, and this can go a lot into talking with your pastor. That's your church pastor is one of the best people to talk to it about, or maybe even a good Christian parent or a really good Christian friend that knows what to do in this scenario. So a lot of times is read the Bible, maybe share with some verses with them, and yeah, like Makenna said, a good thing is to be there for them. And yeah. So we're going to completely pretty much jump topics to a completely different side of the spectrum. And that is the church relevant today? And we talked about on a way previous episode how to find a good church. I believe that was episode 4 something. But is the church even relevant today? And this is a big thing. So Makenna, would you like to start us off?
Okay. Matthew 18:20 says, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there I am with them." And Hebrews 10:25 says, "Not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." So basically these verses are telling us that yes, the church is still relevant today, especially, well, it's always been relevant, but the closer we get to the day that Jesus comes back. I lost my train of thought again.
It is all the more important.
Yeah, it's all the more important. Exactly.
Yeah, that was really good. I also want to emphasize that we're close to the end. I don't know, but the Bible hints at that we're closer to the rapture, and I think it is more. We should join, and we should stay strong in the faith, and also Christian persecution is becoming more common around the world. The U.S. is pretty safe compared to other countries. Take my word for it. You can go look at other countries, and the amount of Christians that die per day, I don't know, a month or year, it's great, and a very big number. Not great as in good, great as in a big number. But the point is that yes, it is very relevant because of the verses that were read about being together and strengthening each other, like iron sharpens iron, and also because we need to be strong for our faith. I think, I don't know if we said this 2 episodes ago, I don't know when, or maybe we didn't, but Andrew was saying about if you were put at a gunpoint right now to deny Jesus or not, would you deny him, or would you die because of your faith? And I think spending a lot of time in church with people who are strong will help you be able to stay strong with the Lord.
Yeah, I definitely agree in that the church is relevant today. There is a verse, I can't say it off the top of my head, but where 2 or more people are gathered, I am there with them. And just by people coming together to worship God, you can experience God, and that's one of the best places to experience God is in the church. So I believe the church is very much relevant, and it is very good to go to because it will strengthen your spirit, and you learn a lot in the church. So, yeah, I believe it is very much relevant. So, any closing thoughts before we close out? All right, no. Well, Nathan, would you like to give the spiel?
That was it? That was quick. No, I don't remember the spiel. You can do it.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider sending us an email to faithamongwolves@yahoo.com. And just to let us know that there are people listening and that you enjoyed our episodes. If you have questions, please, and comments, please send them to that email too. Or if you don't feel comfortable emailing, you could just put a comment down in wherever you listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, even some of those few people that listen, if you listen on YouTube. So please feel free to comment and we will make sure to read it.
Also, one last thing, I was talking with Jacob about this. I had forgotten completely about it, but we used to do a little thing, or I used to do a little thing called Factor Cap, Factor Cap, and it was fun to do, but supposedly you guys voted it out and didn't like it, which is I'm kind of hurt about that. But I don't know if you guys can go to older episodes and see what I'm talking about. We used to do that about in the middle of an episode, but I would really like to do that again. So tell Jacob or tell Andrew or just tell all of us, since we all see the emails, that you guys want Factor Cap again. Please, I'm rooting on you.
Yeah. Send it to faithamongwolves@yahoo.com. But thank you for listening to this episode, and yeah. See you later.
Bye.
All right, peace out.
He created mankind with 2 Jacob is such a goofball. All right, in this verse, Jacob stood up, stretched, and fell off, just like splattered on the ground, by the way. With that context being given,